to fly, flew, flown. Aeroplane, plane. Helicopter, bird.
What is the verb form of to fly? The verb form of to fly is fly, flew, flown.
Have you ever flown in an aeroplane? Yes, I have. Yes, I've flown in an aeroplane several times. Yes, I flew for the first time when I was a child. No, I haven't. No, I've never flown in an aeroplane.
Have you ever flown in a helicopter? Yes, I have. Yes, I've flown in a helicopter once during a tour. Yes, I have flown in a helicopter and it was amazing. No, I haven't. No, I've never flown in a helicopter.
Can birds fly? Yes, they can. Yes, most birds can fly, although some like ostriches and penguins can't. No, some birds can't fly. No, not all birds can fly.
At what time of day do birds sing? Birds sing in the morning.
What kind of birds do we eat? We eat chickens, ducks and pigeons.
To get, station, airport, port, train, plane, boat, bus.
Where do you get a train? I get a train from a station. From a train station. I usually get a train from the city's main station.
Where do you get a plane? I get a plane from an airport. From an airport. I usually get a plane from the international airport in my city.
Where do you get a boat? I get a boat from a port. From a port. I usually get a boat from the harbour near the coast.
How can you get from an airport to the city? I can get from an airport to the city by underground. By bus. I can take a taxi from the airport to the city. I usually get a train from the airport to the city centre. I sometimes use a shuttle service to get from the airport to the city.
What can you buy in an airport? I can buy cigarettes and perfume in an airport. I can buy snacks, magazines, and souvenirs in an airport. You can buy duty-free goods like alcohol, cosmetics, and chocolate. In an airport, I can buy travel essentials like neck pillows, headphones, and books.
To travel, ticket, single, one-way, standard, return, first class.
Do you like traveling? Yes, I like traveling. Yes, I do. No, I don't like traveling because I prefer staying at home. No, I don't.
Which countries do you want to travel to in the future? Poland and Germany. I want to travel to Poland and Germany in the future. I'd like to explore Poland and Germany to experience their history and culture. None. I don't plan to travel anywhere in the future. I haven't decided on any countries to visit yet.
Do you usually buy a single or a return ticket when you travel abroad? A return ticket. I usually buy a return ticket because it's more economical. A single ticket. I usually buy a single ticket if I'm not sure of my return date.
Have you ever traveled by boat? Yes, I have. Yes, I've traveled by boat across the English Channel. No, I haven't. No, I've never traveled by boat because I'm afraid of the water.
Have you ever traveled by helicopter? Yes, I have. Yes, I've traveled by helicopter once during a sightseeing tour. No, I haven't. No, I've never traveled by helicopter because I'm not keen on heights.
Have you ever traveled first class? Yes, I have. Yes, I have traveled first class on a long-haul flight, and it was exceptionally comfortable. No, I haven't. No, I've never traveled first class because it's usually too expensive for me.
Is it quicker to travel by boat or by plane? By plane. It's quicker to travel by plane because aircraft cruise at much higher speeds than boats.
Is it cheaper to travel first class or standard? Standard. It's cheaper to travel standard. No, it's not cheaper to travel first class. It's not cheaper to travel first class. First class tickets cost significantly more than standard.
What kind of ticket do we buy when we want to go somewhere and come back? A return ticket. We buy a return ticket when we want to go somewhere and come back.
Have you ever driven a car very fast? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I've driven a car very fast on a racetrack once. No, I haven't. No, I've never driven a car very fast because I prefer to drive safely.
Have you ever driven on the left? Yes, I have. Yes, I've driven on the left when I traveled to the UK. No, I haven't. No, I've never driven on the left because I've never been to a country where they drive that way.
To ride, rode, ridden. A bicycle. A bike. A horse. A motorbike.
What is the verb form of to ride? The verb form of to ride is ride, rode, ridden.
Have you ever ridden a horse? Yes, I have. Yes, I've ridden a horse a few times when I was younger. No, I haven't. No, I've never ridden a horse because I've never had the chance.
Have you ever ridden a motorbike? Yes, I have. Yes, I've ridden a motorbike a few times on quiet roads. No, I haven't. No, I've never ridden a motorbike because I don't have a driving license.
Have you ever ridden an elephant? Yes, I have. Yes, I've ridden an elephant during a trip to Thailand. No, I haven't. No, I've never ridden an elephant because I'm not sure how I feel about it.
How old were you when you first rode a bicycle? I was 5 years old when I first rode a bicycle. I think I was about 7 when I first rode a bicycle. I don't remember exactly, but I was quite young. I've never ridden a bicycle.
To learn, learnt, learnt, British. To learn, learned, learned, American.
How old were you when you learned to speak? I was about 1 year old when I learned to speak. I think I was around 2 when I learned to speak properly. I don't remember exactly, but I learned to speak quite early. I haven't learned to speak yet. Just kidding.
How old were you when you learned to write? I was about 5 years old when I learned to write. I think I was 6 when I learned to write properly. I don't remember exactly, but I learned to write at school. I haven't learned to write yet. Just joking.
How old were you when you learnt to ride a bike? I was about 6 years old when I learnt to ride a bike. I think I was 5 when I learnt to ride a bike without stabilizers. I learnt to ride a bike quite early, maybe around 4. I haven't learnt to ride a bike yet.
Have you ever tried to learn any other foreign language? Yes, I have. Yes, I've tried to learn French, but it was quite difficult. Yes, I've tried to learn Spanish and Italian before. No, I haven't. No, I've never tried to learn another foreign language.